Several suburbs of Johannesburg are experiencing low pressure to the intermittent supply of water due to a power failure affecting some reservoirs. The Randwater's Makenosi booster pump station experienced a power failure on Saturday, which affected 50% of its water pumping capacity. Power supply to the Makenosi station has been restored this morning, but there has been a drop in water storage levels at the Meerdale, Waterfall and Weltevreden reservoirs that supply water to the city of Johannesburg. Well, let's get the latest then on this situation, and I'm joined by Randwater's Makenosi Maroo. Makenosi, good afternoon, and thank you for your time. So what is the status update? Because, from what I read there was a power failure. It affected, certain pump stations, the Makenosi pump station to be particular, which appears to have had a ripple effect to these other stations in the areas that I mentioned. So where do we stand at this hour, this Sunday afternoon?
Okay. Thank you, Tulani. And good afternoon to your viewers. Where we stand at the moment, we are currently busy refilling our reservoirs. It does take time for us to fill up our reservoir. So we are still supplying water, but what we are appealing to our water users is to use water sparingly. As indicated, it takes time to fill up the reservoir, but we are working on it.
Sure. So this is, just for my understanding of the technicality of it all, the power supply issue affected Makenosi, which is a pump booster station, and with the result that
Yes.
Makenosi could then not supply these reservoirs the way that it was supposed to?
How it works is we supply water to different municipalities, but we keep water within a reservoir. So if a reservoir is running low, the water will go slowly towards towards the taps. So the reservoir is affected, hence our water users are affected.
And the reservoirs being affected, I'm trying to establish, is it linked to the power station or was it a separate issue?
No, it is linked to the power station. Remember, we need power for us to pump water. So if there's power failure, it will affect how we pump water.
And I do imagine that you've faced this question before, why it is that you don't have, a stable and reliable backup power system for Makenosi. I mean, one would imagine that it being such a critical bit of infrastructure that directly affects water availability to large parts of the provinces that you supply, you should have systems. Did you have systems? Do you have systems in place?
It's a fair question to ask. We are working on a system, a permanent system. However, I can safely say we do have an agreement with power suppliers not to interrupt our power. So in this case, it was a technical fault, hence we have this problem, but we are working on having a permanent solution.
Okay. Just give me a sense then of what we're looking at over the next 24 to 48 hours. When children are getting ready for school, those who are in school, who are within school term at the moment, when they wake up tomorrow and turn on the bathroom taps, will water be flowing out in the areas that are supplied by these reservoirs?
Maybe let me just mention the areas, then I can also indicate precisely what's going to be happening tomorrow with the learners and people going to school. We're talking about Northcliffe, Florida, Fairlands, Cresta, Honeydew, Cosmos City, Vleehof, some parts of Soweto, Waterfall, and Corimo. So what's going to be happening tomorrow? There will still be water coming out of the tap, but obviously it will be at a very slow pressure. So water will be coming out, but it will be at a very low pressure. So up until we fill up the reservoir. Reservoirs are quite big. It takes time to fill up the reservoir, but water will still be supplied.
All right, I've got to thank you for your time. Makenosi Maroo from Randwater, they're giving us an update about the state of water supply, particularly around those reservoirs that have been affected by that power interruption to Makenosi pump station of Rand Water there. So as you heard there, that's the update of how it's looking for you over the next 24 to 48 hours if you live in those areas that she mentioned.